This is just a short clip from Anglia Car Auctions January 2026 sale, which takes place today and tomorrow, which is Saturday the 31st of January and Sunday the 1st of February. So I suppose it's a January-February sale. And this is just a little section of some of my favourite cars that I normally get to see at Anglia. The cars that really aren't going to go back on the road, like this mini pickup, which is absolutely wrecked. Looks like it's been sat in a hedge for at least 20 years. And then lifted with a forklift. These cars are normally ones that are never going to go back on the road. Occasionally you might see something that will, even like this little NSU, but it's always interesting to see what there is. Sometimes you get some rarities, cars you haven't seen for a few years, or cars you rarely get to see because they've all ended up in this kind of condition and then scrapped. But at least these cars get the chance to be sold, and maybe their parts go to live on in other cars, which is a positive in anyone's eyes, I think. For all those little trim pieces you can never find when you're trying to restore a car or something breaks, this Lancia Flavia may be a car that will survive. It doesn't run, but it looks fairly solid, especially for a Lancia that's been sat outside. There's two Mark 1 Jaguars, which I think is much prettier than the Mark 2. I believe both 2.4s, so not exactly the engine you'd want, but a lovely looking thing, and they both need plenty of work, as does everything else here. That Mercedes TE there is a 4MATIC, so it's the all-wheel drive with the drive shafts through the front springs. You've got this Ford Cortina 1600E. Now that is a rare thing on its own. It's a car my dad would want. He'd owned every other Cortina apart from that one. Fortunately, I haven't told him there's a project one here because that's the last thing he needs. But there's always something interesting in this little section of cars. I mean, Anglia have plenty of lovely cars in this auction. I mean, you've got a couple of super low mile Ferraris. You've got plenty of other interesting cars inside. You've got a Dodge Ram SRT10. You've got more nice projects inside, which are certainly a bit up my street. There's a Silver Spirit over there that I quite like as well. And then you've got even more kind of slight projects on this side, which they normally don't have cars down here. You've got a Mercedes CL500, which you'd be quite brave to take on, I believe. There's some Volvos, there's some Volkswagens, there's a bit of everything for everyone. Quite a few convertibles this time of year as well. One of them definitely isn't holding out the weather, though, as you'll see in a minute. I hope it's going to be a good sale for Anglia. There's a good mixture of cars going through, I think, and calibers and qualities. So lots of people lots of people viewing yesterday when I went up there. I expect, like they normally are with Anglia, there'll be lots of people bidding up at the weekend, standing around in the hall as the cars drive through. Not these ones if they don't run. It's always good to go and have a view of these cars if you can. If you are bidding, I would definitely recommend you go and at least look at them. And if you can get up there for the auction when they're actually being driven through in front of you, it gives you a good chance to listen to them, see how they move, and see exactly what they're like in person. Don't rely on videos, don't rely on photos. As always with classic cars, you've got to go and have a look. This section is an incredibly honest section of the auction. These cars have not been prepped by owners for auction, as you can see. They've just been entered, arrived and put through. But that's a nice thing in my eyes. At least you get to see exactly what they're like. I'm just imagining how much this Silver Spirit must have cost new. It's got the blue of a flex roof, blue interior. It is, while not nice, it once would have been an absolutely lovely car, and I would quite like to own it. But a Project Rolls-Royce is definitely something I do not need in my life. But it doesn't look too bad either, does it? Tempting. Anyway, if you're bidding, have a good auction. I hope you get to buy what you want. If you're selling, I hope you make the money you want from your car. And I'm looking forward to seeing how much these cars sell for.